I was born with hypophosphatemic rickets. I was born premature. Hypophosphatemic rickets, it doesn't let a child grow. It stunts your growth at the joints. When the bone tries to grow, but can't, when it's supposed to, it hurts a lot because it bends the bone. And I was in a lot of pain, a lot. And my hip joint, it wouldn't fit into the socket. That's when I would fall a lot. I fell all the time. Everything I tried to do, walking, I was off balance and I would fall. I had a lot of falls, a lot of bad falls, really bad. When my father found out about my condition, my disability, for him, that was a source of shame. He would hide me. They would use very harsh, very strong words like little cripple, good for nothing. He always treated me with so much prejudice. So much prejudice.
He didn't accept your condition?
No, not at all, because all of my other siblings were normal, and I was the only one who was different from all of them, and very different. And I grew up under those conditions, hearing those things, being pushed away, not being allowed to go to school. And one time they were taking my siblings to get a vaccine, and my mother said, "What about Anna Maria? Aren't we taking her?" He said, "No, just leave her. Maybe she'll catch something. Then the shame will be over." Why I was that way? I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to be normal. And this problem here affected my head up here. And it was all just a big confusion. I already felt that I was a burden on that family. And as I grew, the pain from the rickets also grew. The bronchitis attacks got worse until one day, a doctor went there to negotiate with my father about some cattle, some business deal, and I took the chance and went on an adventure. I hid in her truck and left with her. When she got there and saw me, she was distressed, desperate, saying she was going to take me back to my father, to my mother, that she couldn't keep me. And I cried so much until she calmed me down and took me back there. And when she returned, she talked to him about letting me stay with her, that she would take care of me. My father said, "You can take her, she's worthless." That doctor, she negotiated with my father over material possessions. I truly had no price. He didn't negotiate any price for me. I was given to her for free. And when she took me to her house, the doctor, she put me in school because up until then, I still didn't know how to read. And at her house, the doctor arranged for a treatment with a friend of hers for me to have surgery and improve my quality of life. And she took me to Brasilia and handed me over to him at the base hospital where he started the entire treatment. And during the second surgery, things got very complicated because I came into contact with other patients who had an infection called osteomyelitis. And I caught that infection. During that 10-month period of being hospitalized, of surgeries, of infections there, it was very difficult because they couldn't discharge me to go anywhere since I had no relatives. I was there, once again, abandoned. And there I spent Christmas, New Year's, Carnival, Easter, Mother's Day, all of them right there inside that hospital room. It was really difficult. Sometimes I wished for basic things for myself, like toothpaste, but I had no one to ask. A bar of soap to take a shower, I had no one to ask. Or even to eat something like a cheese bread, I couldn't. You see the city celebrating New Year's Eve, the city celebrating, well, you don't see it, you hear it, right? Because I was there on the 11th floor, way up high. I could hear it, see the city moving, and there was no one, not a single friend to visit. Until one day, who do I see coming through the door of that room, of that ward in the hospital? My father. I was so happy because he was there. And I asked him for some money so I could buy toothpaste, a bar of soap, and a cheese bread because I saw other people getting things. Their family members, the affection. And he said no. He said he didn't want to have come, that he'd already spent too much on that trip that he couldn't even afford to take. And since he had spent it, he wouldn't give me anything, he wouldn't buy anything for me. And he didn't. I was already practically dead at that point. I can say I cried tears of blood. It hurt so much. And then I was discharged. And now, where could I go? Had no relatives, had no one, until a person offered to make room for me and offered me help. I ate what was allowed and sometimes even what wasn't. There I was abused. There I felt, so alone. And one day, as I was returning to my work, I was very distressed. And I saw the sign of the church. The day I went in for the first meeting, I left there feeling like I was flying, floating, and I started doing the chains of prayer. And what was my soul like then? It was still full of bitterness. About 2 years had passed, and I was still in the church. A lot had improved. It wasn't a complete change, but it had improved. And I wanted a complete change because I wasn't complete. That wasn't it. I wasn't there just for that. I already understood that Jesus had given his life for me, and Jesus had already forgiven me, but I couldn't forgive. And when the campaign of Israel came, which spoke of sacrifice, for me, the greatest sacrifice was forgiving my father. And I decided to offer forgiveness to my father. But before I made the material sacrifice, as it says, leave your offering at the altar and go to your brother, I didn't go to my brother now. I went to my progenitor, my father, to ask him for forgiveness. I traveled. I went there. I arrived. I said, Father, I went to his house, which was far from my mother's neighborhood. I came here to ask for your forgiveness. He broke down. Right there, he said, I'm the one who has to ask for your forgiveness. We hugged, we cried a lot, and I came back. I fulfilled my financial sacrifice, as I had promised God, because I had already made the greatest sacrifice. I went back and I went there and made the financial sacrifice as well. And when I went up to the altar, I felt a peace so great, so immense, that there are no words to explain it. There, the Holy Spirit came. I was being born again. I was born of the Spirit, born of the Word, born of Him. In that moment, for me, there was no disability. I was the most perfect person in the world, and I am the most perfect person in the world. For me today, what people think or say, for me, it doesn't, I already have the no. I want the yes, and He gives me the yes. At the right time, when it's His will, He gives me the yes, when it's His will, because sometimes we want something so much, we have to ask, is it His will? Does He want this for me? Is it good for me? But He made me perfect. I am perfect.
Quando Jesus estendeu a sua mão, quando Ele estendeu a sua mão para mim.
Today, I am much more than a conqueror. I have a family. I studied. I passed. I became, through a public exam, a federal public servant. My mattress, my mother used to sew, burlap sacks? She would fill one side, fill the other with corn husks. Today I have my own health. God did what? He took me from the ashes, from the mud, from the dust, and put me where? Up there among the princes, right? But all of this that I've achieved, Pastor, isn't the most important thing. No. The most important thing in all of this, upon reflection, is the life that Jesus gave me, his spirit. I gave a bitter, dead, sad, suffering, depressed soul. And today, what do I have? A clean, free soul. It's a soul that shines his glory here on earth